So Nintendo Corner, first up, we've got new Nintendo hardware in the works. Oh man,
Yes.
here we go.
Nintendo is. Did you guys see? I was just checking out some Nintendo stuff before we started Nintendo Corner. Nintendo's they're at front page of Time.com right now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nintendo's all over the place. Like they've sold since they've released the Amiibos, they've sold like 6 million, 3.5 in the past few months. Like Nintendo is making a big 90s-esque comeback right now. Yeah, they're doing something, but I mean they are all over the place right now.
It's about time.
That was actually another item for that was going to be a separate thing, but yeah, they've blown it away with Amiibos. 3.5 million Amiibos sold.
Crazy.
But this particular thing though, codename NX. There's nothing about it now. There's no graphics or anything, but this is the type of thing where like you always hear about how they release a system, any of the major platform holders, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, whoever, they always say, oh, we'll release this one, but we start the next one as soon as the latest one is out. So this is just this is them reaffirming the same thing. But the rumors now is that this is going to be maybe a hybrid between like portable and a home console.
Kind of like
because
the Wii
they're
U.
trying to. I think they said somewhere that they've seen what Apple's done with iOS and OS 10 and having a single kind of platform or a similar architecture for all their products. So maybe that's what they're trying to do here. I don't know, but codename NX.
Don't get me wrong, like I love Nintendo and like all that kind of stuff, but like it makes me a little shaky as a consumer to be like you guys are already talking about your next system.
The bigger announcement this week was their partnership with DeNA, who's a juggernaut mobile publishing company over in Japan. So they're gonna partner with these guys, and they're gonna develop mobile device apps featuring Nintendo IP. So this is not gonna be. Everybody's been clamoring for, just put the old Mario games, just put the old Zelda games on mobile. It'll make a killing. This is gonna be completely new stuff. And so I guess poor Iwata-san couldn't ignore the shareholders forever because everybody's been calling for this. Everybody's been saying, just put it on mobile. Just put Nintendo stuff on mobile. The audience is there. They're the ones who are going to buy this. Why are they past this? They're just leaving that money on the table. They don't know what they're doing. Iwata's a terrible CEO. What's his problem? So I guess it just became all the shareholders is just too deafening. Just won't let it go. So here he goes. Nintendo properties on mobile platforms. It's important to point that out. These are going to be new properties or new games and new titles featuring Nintendo characters and property, but not existing stuff. So, and I believe that this DeNA, they're big on free to play, so it's going to be all this stuff. You just get it and you can play it, but then it's going to be pay to win, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you can only do certain things. You only have a certain amount of energy to do this much stuff. If you want more energy to keep playing the game and get farther in a given day, then you got to pony up the bucks.
So basically, Nintendo's just getting in on the free-to-play, Farmville, all this garbage. I mean, I understand
they've been doing the DLC now, so
right.
Makes sense.
I understand where they're coming from. Like, this is going to make them a ton of money, but it kind of goes against all their core principles. Like, Nintendo's all about like, it's like let's have fun. We're still like this fun like console company. Once it gets into the free-to-play market and they're just hemorrhaging money out of everybody. They're just a monetary vampire like every other company out there. It's pretty crappy.
Yeah. Well, you can't ignore that though. If that's where the kids are, if that's where the majority you can't ignore those numbers. If that's where everybody's playing, if there's that massive audience on there, you can't ignore that indefinitely. So it's already had an impact. I mean, this is gigantic news. The stock went way up. Nintendo stock went started soaring for the last couple of days. So this is a big deal. We'll see how that pans out. I'm not sure when this stuff is going to start hitting mobile platforms, but everybody's been calling for this for a while. Everybody's like, why won't they do it? I want Nintendo games on my iPhone.
I actually talked about this. I think I talked about it on the show maybe last year or something. I think we were talking about Nintendo and how they weren't doing so well or whatever at the time. And I didn't discuss this. But I was saying that if Nintendo really wanted to make money, they should release a subscription-based service where you pay like X amount of dollars per month, $10 a month, and you have access to the entire Nintendo library.
People would just rip it all, I feel like.
I would pay, if it was like a small monetary fee, if it was like $10 a month, like Netflix, but for Nintendo, I would do that.
For classic games.
For classic games.
That could be pretty cool. I always thought that Nintendo was going to start releasing like the old Game Boy games and stuff on the mobile market as like Android games. You know what I mean? Like with like, you know, touch interfaces and all that. So it's kind of funny that, you know, like they're doing this now.
But imagine having that, but having that as like having that as a subscription-based service. I think that would totally be worth it.
It would work for sure.
Right, and I think that way Nintendo, like for me personally, once Nintendo gets into this like weird area where it's like all these microtransactions and like all this BS, that's kind of garbage. But if they get into this thing where like, hey, we're Nintendo and we still really care about you guys as consumers, so for $8.99 a month, you're gonna have access to all these new games and our back catalog, but just support us through the subscription-based service for the rest of your life. But I do not appreciate. I mean, for their shareholders, it's great because they're going to make a ridiculous amount of money right now. But for me as the consumer, it's kind of a slap in the face.
It's kind of bullshit.
Right, it's less of a win.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But for all you for all you CEOs and stockholders out there, get ready to swim around in your money bin.
That actually brings us to our question of the week. Then, so is this announcement here with Nintendo IP going to mobile platforms? Is this going to turn things around for them? Let us know in the comments. I'm not really sure they need things to be turned around. This because they've got so much money in the bank. But if you look at the Wii U, if you look at how their other businesses have been doing lately, they're, you know, compared to how they've done in the past, like with the original Wii, the Wii sold insane numbers and made
so comparatively speaking, the Wii U has sold 10 million units. The Wii sold 100 million units. So it's like when you compare it, it's I mean, like maybe turning it around isn't the best use of wordage we could have used, but like Nintendo has stagnated. So I think this is probably going to turn things around for them, in that they're going to start really making a profit again, for sure.
Oh, that's right, because they have posted a loss for the past couple of years, I believe.
They kind of plateaued and they kind of just stayed there.
Right. Okay, so let us know about that, and that's going to do it for this week's Nintendo Corner.